please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Well, Tata Steel and ThyssenKrupp, they have signed a definitive agreement to combine the European steel operations. The 50-50 JV will create the continent's second largest steel company. Tata Steel's Koushik Chatterjee tells CNBC TV18 that the ThyssenKrupp JV will be EPS accretive, as 50% of the company's profits will flow into Tata Steel India. Speaking to Nisha Podar, he says that the full synergy benefits of around 400 to around 500 million euros will kick in the next 2 to 3 years. Let's hear him out.
I think this is a collaboration and a partnership that has been built on a very strong industrial logic and footprint, and I think the Indian shareholders and the company will be in a much more financially robust position. Not only are we going to look at deleveraging on the deconsolidation of about 2.5 billion euros of debt, we will have consolidated interest costs which will come down by about maybe 1,000 crores. We create balance sheet appetite for the growth in the Indian business, and therefore I think it will certainly have an earnings accretive position. Not to mention about the fact that as a 50-50 joint venture, when we account it on an equity basis, we will have the earnings of the joint venture company, and with our expectation is also that it will be a free cash flow business from which the shareholders will be duly serviced.
So you've said synergies of 400 to 500 million euros per year. Is that expected to clock in from the very first financial year of your operation as a merged entity?
So I think there are certain synergies which has the potential to start faster than the others. For example, there are ones which are the procurement synergies and synergies on account of the network. These are the ones which will come in possibly first, and then there are synergies which will flow in as we go along. Our estimate is it will take 2 to 3 years to mature on the numbers that we have guided for.
You said that 2.5 billion euros passed on to the joint venture that will be deconsolidated from Indian entity. So that means 20,000 odd crore rupees going from your overall net debt that you left in the end of FY18 at 86,000 crore rupees. So that will reduce to 66,000 odd crore rupees. But then you're also buying out Bhushan Steel, where you've said that you're taking a debt of 16,500 crore rupees. What are your plans for debt management? Are you comfortable with these levels? And with this debt on your books, would you still pursue Bhushan Power and Steel?
So I think if you have to look at the Bhushan Steel acquisition, this has been done on a very prudent capital structure. We've contributed about 18,000 crores of equity related from Tata Steel, and about 16,500 of debt. For a 5 million plus ton facility with very strong asset configuration, especially on the downstream, and a market presence. We are replacing debt with the acquisition of fundamentally strong Indian operations, as in the acquisition in Bhushan Steel. Bhushan Power I can't comment because it's currently in the court.
It's the last day for submitting the binding bids. Ekta, more details, tell us.
Well, it's actually not the last day. It is, the deadline is today, and they were expected today. So 8:30 to 9:30 is expected to be the deadline in the morning. So we can probably hear about the binding bids during market hours, which would be quite surprising for a company such as Fortis, who generally delivers all of their news pieces late in the night. So what we are expecting is a final bid from Munjal Berman, Manipal TPG, IHH and Radiant KKR. Remember that they have completed their 10-day due diligence, which was completed on the 10th of June. After that, the board eventually released their Q4 and FY18 numbers at the end of June after delaying them, but they are unaudited numbers that have been released. So, for example, there was a whole detailed report from Luthra and Luthra with regards to the ICDs as well as the net loss for Q4 stood at over 900 crores. They had an operating margin which was just a little over 1%. So all of these factors are going to be factored into the bidding, into the final bids which will come through. Now remember that besides that, there will be a minimum investment of 1,500 crores. There will be a plan for funding of RHT Trust, plan for providing an exit to private equity investors of SRL. All of these few things, as well as plans for retention of current management employees, have to be added in to the bids which will be submitted by them. Whether or not interest has waned, that will be something that we'll see as compared to what the earlier bids were and how aggressive these bids would be in order to retain these assets post the due diligence, as well as the Q4 news, as well as the Luthra and Ruthra report, as well as the SEBI investigation, forensic investigation, which is currently ongoing. So a lot to factor in.
Yeah.
Let's see whether the interest remains or not. But that's on Fortis. Moving on to some macro data, the output pace of India's 8 major industries slowed down in the month of May. It was a 10-month low with a rise of 3.6%. Coal sector output in May has gone up to around 12% versus 16%. Crude oil output went down by 2.9% versus a 0.8% decline. And natural gas output has gone down by 1.4% versus a 5.8% rise in the previous month. Petroleum refinery products have grown 4.9%. Electricity generation was up 3.5%. Steel output is just about meager with around a 0.5% rise versus 3.8% in the previous month, Nigel. So not looking good for core sector, but still growing.
Okay, all right. Time to slip into a short break. Up next, an exclusive conversation with former HUL chairman Harish Manwani. Stay with us. Well, the focus for FMCG major Hindustan Unilever will be on premiumization and digitization. That's the word that's coming in from former HUL chairman Harish Manwani. Speaking exclusively to CNBC TV18's Priya Sheth, he talks about pockets of growth for the company and his vision for 2025.
We do recognize premiumization as an important aspect, and it's easy to understand why. India is a fast-growing market. Quality of standards of living are going up. People's incomes are going up, and therefore we do expect people to upgrade and move up to buying better products. Having said that, you have to also recognize that again there is diversity in India, and that is why we still believe that our portfolio strategy of ensuring that we continue to premiumize some of our offerings, even as we continue to be relevant at the mass end and the middle end, is equally important.
As you step away, what is your vision for HUL in 2025? Which do you think would perhaps be the categories that would lead growth for the company?
I think the good thing is that part of our strategy remains, if you like, fixed, because that's our DNA, and our DNA is that we do believe that we have to be market makers. And as we look into any one of our categories that we operate in or sectors that we operate in, we want to make sure that we lead market development for adjacent categories and premiumization. We want to lead that. Our vision also is that we need to remain relevant for the consumers of tomorrow. And the big trend that we are seeing, of course, here is this whole digitization and technology. And I think we have been therefore proactive in terms of ensuring that the way we market our brands or the way we distribute our brands uses some of the best technologies to be relevant to the consumers of tomorrow. We are also conscious that big data is going to be an important competitive advantage. So we are actually moving towards, in fact, ensuring that we are able to use big data to segment our markets, to reach our consumers in a more targeted way.
Okay, time for a break now, but here's a weather report from SkyMet.
Hi, this is Fawzia. Welcome to SkyMet Weather Report. With monsoon covering entire country, rains will take a vigorous turn over northeast and northeast regions. In fact, the axis of monsoon trough has shifted northward and is running along the foothills of Himalayas. Consequently, moderate to heavy rains are expected over Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand and foothills of Uttar Pradesh. Also, light to moderate rains are likely over North Punjab. Meanwhile, rains would now reduce over Haryana, Delhi, West Uttar Pradesh and North Rajasthan. But isolated thunder showers may occur. Similarly, moderate to heavy showers will continue over sub-Himalayan West Bengal, Sikkim, Assam, Meghalaya and Arunachal Pradesh. Also, foothills of Bihar and Jharkhand may see few good spells. In central region, South Rajasthan, West Madhya Pradesh and Kutch region of Gujarat would see dry weather, while South Gujarat and East Madhya Pradesh may only see light rain activity. Chhattisgarh and parts of Vidarbha may also see light to moderate rains. The offshore trough running from South Maharashtra to Lakshadweep would give moderate showers over Konkan and Goa, including Mumbai and coastal Karnataka. Light to moderate rains may occur over Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Let's look at the temperatures. Delhi would have a maximum of 37 degrees Celsius. The maximum temperature in Kolkata would be 33 degrees Celsius. In Mumbai, the day temperature would be 31 degrees Celsius. That's it. Wrapping up. For more updates, stay tuned to skymetweather.com.
Well, on to action from the FIFA World Cup in Russia. It was Neymar who inspired Brazil as they beat Mexico 2-0 in the round of 16 of the World Cup at Samara Arena. It was a disappointing night for Mexico as they failed to break the jinx and exited in the round of 16 of the World Cup for the 7th time in a row. The win books Brazil's spot in the quarterfinal of the FIFA. Belgium came from 2 goals behind to meet Japan 3-2 in what was a nail-biting finish to their round of 16 match. Belgium have now advanced to the quarterfinals of the World Cup, where they will face off with the 5-time world champions Brazil. Well, what an interesting match that will be, Nigel.
And some believe that, in fact, the winner of that match could, in fact, go ahead and lift the cup as well. Brazil versus Belgium, whoever comes out on top, maybe, just maybe, they'll go ahead and lift the cup.
Yes, I just want to add that the Mexican goalkeeper was something else, though, yesterday. I mean, I think it was a single-handed defense by the Mexican goalkeeper. He could only do that much as he did. I think he saved like 3 to 4 goals from Brazil. All
right, let's talk about today's action. We have England. They face a stern test coming in from a resurgent Colombia in the last 16 clash in the FIFA World Cup. While Sweden, they are on the verge of their first FIFA World Cup quarterfinals in 24 years as they take on Switzerland in the round of 16. Okay, so that's about all the sporting action, but let's get back to the markets and let's talk about the commodity markets. Manisha Gupta is with us early this morning to run us through what's going on there. Hey Manisha, good morning.
Hi, you actually want to talk about commodities after talking football?
We could talk about football more, but we need to get that update, Manisha, so fill us in. Your take, did you watch the games last night?
I did, and it was great. But the crude oil prices also have been great. So finally, some decline, and that should actually be positive for the markets today. We have seen the numbers come in, and when you look at Saudi Arabia, Russia, or US, the output has actually increased month on month for the month of June. So Russia now stands at the highest 11.06 million barrels per day. You have Saudi, putting an output of 10.7, and the US output has increased 30% in last 2 years, and that now stands at 10.9 million barrels. So if the world is consuming 98 million barrels per day, 1/3 of that is coming in from these 3 countries. So the dependence and any moving event or news that comes in from these countries is definitely going to move the crude oil prices. Apart from that, it also has to do with the numbers that came in. If you look at the China, Japan, South Korea, all these 3 Asian countries have reported low or slowdown in export orders in the month of June. So that has pulled down not just the crude oil prices, but all the metals as well. So you have copper trading at a 7-month lows. And add to that the trade tensions, the weak economic data, the strong US dollar, the increasing supplies. So the base metals actually haven't had it so good in last many days. Not just copper, nickel is leading the decline today, is down 2% on LME as we speak. So not such a great start yet again for metals.
Okay, all right, Manisha. Thanks very much for that. And on that note, it's a wrap on Power Breakfast. We'll leave you with the picks of our bullseye contestants for day 2 of the Week Bazaar Morning Call just after a short break.
The first pick will be to buy Prestige Estates for the target of 298 and the stop loss below 273. The second pick is to buy Coromandel International for the targets of 420 and a stop loss below 399. The third pick is to buy Ajanta Pharma for targets of 1025 and a stop loss below 960. And the fourth pick is to buy KPIT Technology for the target of 284 and a stop loss below 268.
First call is a buy call on Mahindra CIE. The stock closed at 254 rupees yesterday. It could be bought for a target of 260 and a stop loss of 248 should be kept on the stock. My second call would be a buy call on Som Distilleries. The stock closed at 238 rupees yesterday. It could be bought for a target of 245 and a stop loss of 232 should be kept on the stock. My third call would be again a buy call on Jaycore. The stock's closing price was 141.15. It could be bought for a target of 145 and a stop loss of 136 should be strictly kept on the stock. My final call would be again a buy call on Indian Hotels. The stock's closing price was 130. It could be bought for a target of 136 and a stop loss of 124 should be strictly kept on the stock.
My first pick is Berger Paints. I buy it with a day target of 292 and a stop loss of 280. Second, Adani Ports. I sell it with a day target of 355 and a stop loss of 374. Third, Biocon. I sell it with a day target of 575 and a stop loss of 630. Last, Reliance Capital. I sell it with a day target of 362 and a stop loss of 380.